Welcome to ZOOMERTIMES TV. And here's your host, Anita Finley.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anita Finley, and I just want you to know that our September issue of Boomer Times is out, and I hope that you get it. There's lots of exciting things in there. Dogs who are lifesavers, something on Marilyn Monroe, and then some spectacular new water treatment. So be sure to get it. Go to our website, boomertimesfl.com. So today we are going to have I always call him a celebrity because he's been with United American Insurance for so long. It's John Ahlbum, and it's the Ahlbum Group, and it's Ahlbum. And he's calling in from the Cape, way up there where all the fancy people live. But he's been doing this for a long time. And he actually has his office down here in Margate. But he and I have been talking about the supplements, the Medicare supplements. And I wanted to ask him a question. So I see different advertisements, John, about Medicare supplements. What's the difference between United American supplement, which I have, and all the others?
Okay, to start with, it isn't the supplement that is different because all the supplements are stipulated by Medicare, the benefits and everything else for each plan. But the difference is the company and the way the companies operate. And United American is the only company that I've ever been involved with in the Medicare business who actually gives you an agent for life. So long as you're a policyholder and your agent or his former general agent is still with United American, they are there to answer your questions, help you with anything you need, and boom, and we do. The other big difference is that I've never seen another company offer the benefit or the department. United American has what's called the Agency Service Department. And they have employees there who are trained just to answer agents' questions, which are usually questions that a client has asked and the agent doesn't know the answer to or wants to make sure he gets it right. And they're there to take care and help the agents. Most other companies, as soon as you've got your policy and your card in the mail and everything is done, your agent is gone. And you're talking to somebody in customer service who doesn't know you from the man in the moon and could care less. And then the other thing that they do, especially the ones that offer advantage plans as well as supplements, then they start calling you and saying, hey, I'm from ABC Insurance. We're the ones who have your Medicare supplement. And we wanted to tell you about an HMO that's coming into your neighborhood that would save you a lot of money and you know, those kinds of things. And it's not right. But people, you know, unfortunately buy into it from time to time. So.
Well, you know, John, I'm really glad you brought that up because I have known you. You have been my agent for, I don't know, what have I been with you? 15 years, 20, a long time. I don't even know how long.
Been quite a while.
But, a long time. And I never think about that. I just expect to talk to you or your son or your wife. I mean, I don't
Right.
even think about what you said. But I do know with some other insurance, not this, but I had a life insurance policy for a long time. I have given it up, but I did have it. And I never talked to the person. I was what they called an orphan. I thought that's what they referred to it. I never knew who it was. He could have saved me a lot of stuff. He never did, or she never did. And I think that's more true on a lot of things. So I'm really glad that you brought this up to people. I hope our listeners and viewers understand that. You know that years ago, you picked up the telephone and you got to talk to whoever you purchased something from. Nowadays, you have to get online. People, they have phone numbers, but it doesn't seem to work. But that's not true of the Ahlbum Group. I can attest to that. They're there for you all the time. And that's why I think John has been so successful, because he knows his clients. He really cares about them. If they have something that doesn't seem right, he'll go at bat for them. Because John, I don't think every time it works perfectly. And sometimes you have to get involved, don't you?
There are some problems from, claims from time to time or with something else. But then you have the case where somebody's bank account gets hacked. And they can call us and get us their new bank information, and we send it in right away to agency service. And within an hour, we get a confirmation that the new bank information has been, set up, and that everything will be the same on their next bank draft. We also work with, we have a lot of retired teachers and a lot of retired state and county employees, because we participate with Florida State Retirement in their programs, where they actually pay a health insurance subsidy for the number of years that somebody's worked. So the maximum health insurance subsidy is $150. That would go directly to United American. But the greatest thing is, and people don't realize until you talk to them, is that $150, if it goes direct to the insurance company, even though it's coming from their retirement pay, is tax-free. Because of the way the health insurance subsidy was set up. So they've got a whole department that works with that kind of situation, and it's great.
That's really important. That's right. That's something that unique, I think, in with companies that do things. So that's important. Let me give everyone your phone number. It's a toll-free number. So no matter where you're listening to this, whether you're online, wherever you find this on YouTube, it's 877-970-4760. Is that correct, John?
That's our toll number, yes.
Toll-free number. Because we have people, I just had someone from the state of Washington contact me. It was a group of women who love to get out into the wild, and they like to do all sorts of interesting things. And she said, I love your magazine. I don't know how she gets it, but she must get it online. And she said, would you do a story for us? And so I probably will do that, but that's why I want to give you your toll-free number. It's 877-970-4760. And the Ahlbum Group, AHLBUM, they are licensed in a lot of states. So if you call them, they will handle what you have or help you with it. So it's very, very important. And John's been doing this for over 30 some odd years, probably longer. He just looks good for his age, that's all. And John Ahlbum, that's JONAHLBUM. So let's continue with this, because now we see that it's coming up to the point in October, November, part of December, where you can make switches. You can switch. If you're in an HMO, you can switch to a different HMO, to an Advantage plan. You can go to what John has, which is the supplement. Now, John, if they're an HMO, can they go to a supplement anytime, or have to wait for that period?
It only be during the annual enrollment period. Although there are exceptions. Is one, if they move out of the service area for the HMO, then they're entitled to they can enroll in anything different they want. There's also something that called a trial right, and that comes into effect if somebody feels that they were lied to or misled, and they're willing to say that. They can use that as a reason to go from an HMO or PPO to a supplement during anytime during the year. So long as a good plan that they go with agrees that they were lied or misled, because the drug plan is the one who holds the key to that.
Why is that true?
Say again?
Why is that true? The drug plan holds the key.
Because you have to change, you have to go to the drug plan, because the drug plan is the tool that Medicare uses to disenroll them from the HMO or PPO. Because they're now going on a standalone drug plan, Part D. And that's where that's part of the trial rule. The fact that but they usually get accepted, and it's a lot of times it'll be somebody was, they were really healthy for 10 or 15 years, and all of a sudden something happens medically, and they go to the doctor, and he said, well, I can't treat you, and I'd like to send you a specialist, but the specialist isn't in the network, and there's no way I can, to get you connected and those kinds of things. And so then they do feel like they were lied or misled, and they fill out the form and fill out the application for the supplement, and boom. And the other thing that people don't realize is the major cancer hospitals in the country, like MD Anderson in Houston, and Dana-Farber in Boston, and the big one in New York, they don't accept Advantage plans from all over the country. So if you need cancer treatment, you really need to have a supplement. But the problem is that if you, like anything else, you have to qualify for a supplement. And if you're diagnosed with cancer, it's too late at that point in a lot of cases to switch to a supplement so that you can go to one of these other hospitals.
Well, that's very sad. That's very worrisome. That's very sad. So do they tell them this when they're putting them into these HMO Advantage plans?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. So it's not part of the script that they have to.
No, they emphasize the dental care and the hearing and things like that, but not the true medical care. And now the HMOs are bringing out things like, they are bringing out more medical dental care that they didn't have before, and hearing, and vision, and things like that they didn't offer. But they're cutting back on what they're paying the doctors because they're not giving up their profits at all.
Oh, boy.
Because they're making less, so fewer doctors are participating, fewer, in the programs. And it's just, it's the whole thing is it was never designed to be what it's become, and it's actually depleted the Medicare trust fund radically, which is sad because Medicare by itself with a supplement is probably the best insurance anybody could ever have.
Well, it's a lot of politics and also a lot of confusion. And I'm sure the medical societies, the doctors must be very unhappy.
Some of them are, some aren't. I mean, it depends on what side of the fence they're on, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah. John, I was thinking as you were talking, so if someone becomes a salesperson for one of these HMO supplements, which is like, not supplement, HMO Advantage, there's a lot of training that has to go on, and I'm sure they're tested and all, but when you start thinking how many salespeople have to be there, there's got to be errors. And of course.
Well, and they have to, every year they have to be certified to sell the Advantage plans, standalone, or to represent one of the companies. But they all have to take the same test and training. And there's a lot of things that they do after the training tells them one thing, and then they get out on the street and something tells them something different, and they're not always adhering to the rules.
And do you have that same test that you have to do every year?
No, we don't have to take one. Only
Huh.
if we're licensed with a Part D drug plan, or I do have agents that do both supplements and advantage plans. Most of them, the majority of our agents just do supplements. But there are also quite a few of them who want to be able to do a drug plan separately. And they have to take the same AHIP test and training that the ones who are selling a advantage plan, the PPO or HMO sell. And I did it once years ago, and I said, it isn't worth it.
Well, years ago,
We take the people to the Medicare website and
yeah,
walk them through Medicare.gov and help them pick out the plan that's going to be the best for them, and then help them enroll through Medicare directly. And we don't make anything on it, but it's a service that we give them, and it gives us a reason to touch base with our clients on an annual basis too. So, during open enrollment, when we can review everything.
well, that's also a good way to get referrals, because people are always talking about their medical care. And people say, well, who do you go to? Because that's very common. But, John, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was actually a vice president of a company called HearX. It's now called Hear USA. And I did that for 4 years. And with my gerontology hat on, they sent me to a lot of the HMOs to be able to get them to use our hearing company. And so Humana and some of them put me on video, and I talked about about unfair hearing and vision. That's what I did. I did an orientation on how to treat their customers, because they didn't hear well, they didn't see well. And then I did something that was even more interesting. I did something that was called the unfair hearing test, and they sent me, and this was all of them, Care Plus, Humana, a lot of them, sent me across the state, where I sat down with many of the agents to teach them what their clients really are like.
Mhm.
And that went on. And then all of a sudden they stopped hiring me because they put it on computer, because it was cheaper for them. But it wasn't the same, because no one got to ask questions, and they were
Right.
just trying to save money.
Right. I mean, a lot of the computerized stuff, yeah, it saves money for the company, but it doesn't do the same as
No,
either face-to-face or voice-to-voice or whatever you want,
right,
voice-to-ear or whatever, you want.
right.
And it's like us here. I mean, we could be on the phone talking, but it isn't the same as if we're sitting here looking at each other while we talk and while we're doing this. And it's almost the same as being in that radio studio in Boca.
Mhm.
Except,
That's right. We did that for a long time, but it's better now because they get to see you. They don't just get to hear you.
yeah,
But, well, the nice thing is, years ago, you were lucky if you even could get on a radio show. Most of it was just by telephone. I don't think you even had another way. I'm talking about 30 years ago. Everything was by phone.
I remember way back, I would, on a Saturday morning, you'd call me at like 6:30 in the morning, and we do a 30-minute interview.
Oh, yeah. I used to get to the radio station. I did that for 30 years at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was from 5 to 8 a.m. And my husband used to laugh. He said, well, she jumps up out of bed, because I had to leave at 4 to get ready and get there. And it's funny how it was like I was just I guess, one of these test monkeys, I just did it and didn't think about it. But then when COVID happened and no one wanted to go to the studio and I didn't, so we came up with this. And then, wow, this is wonderful for me.
This is one of the few good things that COVID caused.
True. Yeah, it is. It is. COVID has given us some new technology and some new ideas.
Yes.
In fact, I attended a funeral recently with 20 people on a Zoom.
Really?
And unlike a funeral, you don't really get to talk or hear what the person was like, but everyone got to share what they knew about that person.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really very nice.
Yes.
Well, I think what we have to do, John, is continue to do the good things that you do. And John Ahlbum is a very, very good human being. I have to tell people that he's kind and he's smart and he's developed a wonderful company. He has his family involved. And I just hope, I'm going to give you his phone number again. And I just absolutely want you to think about this. It's they'll tell you that they're mostly positives. There'll be some negatives for you that maybe you can't afford it or maybe it's not what you want, but they'll be very honest. And their toll-free number is 877-970-4760. And that's Ahlbum, AHLBUM. I'm very privileged to have John Ahlbum, who's been advertising and working with us for so many years. And the fact that I can attest to it because I have been one of his clients of the United American, and I never have a problem with any doctor, anything, any medication. I just show them the United American card, and it's kind of like people wave flags. I don't have a problem with that. I wish that you had pet insurance. So, John, I pump you up when you get off the show. You kind of wave your hands and say, "I'm so great," right? Well, I'm sure you feel good about what you do. And that's when it comes down to the basic part of life, John. You have to feel good about who you are and what you do, right?
Yeah, and what really makes you realize that what you're doing is the right thing is the number of referrals that we get. Or just having a client call and say, "I just wanted to say thank you." That means as much as anything, really. Just it makes you realize that you are doing the right thing and you are helping people. And people
I hope you saved all those letters.
They ask me why I don't retire, and I say, because what would I do? Here, I can help somebody every day. If I retire, what am I going to do?
Right. And I'm sure you have people for a long time, don't you?
Yes.
They don't come and go.
No, they're a lot of people have been with me for 20 or 25 years.
Fabulous. Says a lot. And everybody's aged, and you probably know their life story.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, John Ahlbum. It's really always wonderful talking to you. You're not only your special friend, you're a special person business associate, and we love to talk to you because I know what you say and do is really right on, straight, and we hope that you are having a good time up on the Cape, but that you come back to us soon. When do you come back? November?
We're leaving here on the 10th of
Oh. Okay, so you're gonna be back in time for maybe another hurricane. We've been very lucky. So thank you, John, so much. I really appreciate your being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I love these interviews.
Yeah, well, we love having you. And I just wanted to share with everybody, this is the magazine, Boomer Times. I want you to be sure to get it. It's boomertimesfl.com. You'll be able to see John Ahlbum's ad in there. And also you're gonna be able to see lots of doctors and lots of entertainers. And then there's something new that's called Angel Water. I want you to look at that, if you will, please. Angel Water, it's special water. They come to your home and they give you the very best. They condition your water, and they have all sorts of treatment appliances and ways to get the very good water. So please do go to boomertimesfl.com. Thank you, and we'll see you another time.
Thank you. Weekend.